addiction, alcoholism, it affects millions of people in this country, and sobriety is the goal for many of them, but there are challenges. One of the ways people are trying to get sober is through the use of a sober coach. So I'm joined now to talk about this by Caroline Barrett from soberme.ca. Thanks very much for having us.
Thank you.
Or for having me, I should say. Let's start with the beginning. What does a sober coach do?
Sober coach basically works with the client and works out a plan to get them sober and keep them sober. So a sober coach is somebody who's been through recovery themselves generally and understands the day-to-day life of what needs to be taken in order to stay sober.
And how do you come up with a program for each person? Is this a one-on-one sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's one-on-one. We kind of work out like their whys, why they're doing what they're doing, why they want to get sober, and then we work at a plan as to how that's going to work. And like we look over their days and kind of figure out what will work best for them to stay sober. And
how does this differ from some of the other ways that people pursue sobriety, like recovery meetings or therapy?
Well, therapy is more of a clinic, they go to school for that. It's more in depth, whereas somebody who's in recovery has already been through it. So it differs by just being there, like we're continuous support. So we'll go to where they're at and be with them. If they have an event, we'll go and be with them at the event just to keep an eye to make sure that they aren't drinking or doing drugs. So we're kind of a little bit more hands-on in a sense, so we're more available. It's basically what it is.
Do you find that people who come to you for help have already tried other ways to get sober and you're more of a last resort or the next resort?
Sometimes, yeah, they have tried, and some people just haven't tried yet and they just don't know what to do and where to start. So they hear about what I do and they call me and we go from there.
Now, one of the more traditional ways people try to get sober is through recovery meetings. I noticed on your website that you said part of your service can be actually going with your clients to recovery meetings.
Yeah.
So recovery meetings still a big part of how you see people getting sober.
Yeah, so we kind of work out what's best for them to see what's going to actually make it happen. So yeah, going to the meetings, if that works for them, then I'll go to all the meetings with them, and I went myself, so I know what to expect.
How did you find yourself becoming a sober coach?
Well, I actually in 2019 I lost my best friend due to a fentanyl overdose, and I had another loved one that was suffering from addiction. And of course, I'm sober. I'm going to be 7 years sober September 10th. So I was told about it, and I thought, this is perfect. Like, I've been doing this for many years on its own, so I might as well continue. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on your sobriety.
Thank you.
Can you comment a little? I know you're based in Burlington on the demand for your services in the Burlington-Hamilton area.
Yeah, there's a huge demand. Obviously, during COVID, things changed for a lot of people as well. So, you know, there is a huge demand for it all over. So it's not just Burlington, Hamilton's all surrounding areas as well. So. Yeah.
Well, it's a very challenging program. So these kinds of novel approaches outside of traditional recovery forms, are you seeing a higher success rate, you think, than other forms?
Yeah, because you're actually physically, they have somebody who's been there and understands what they're going through. So it's kind of like, it's just that mentorship, you know, just to kind of get them to be able to be successful. So yeah, it's nice to have somebody there that understands. So yeah.
Caroline, thanks so much for joining us this morning, teaching us a little bit about a sober coach. If you want to learn more about a sober coach to see if it's right for you, you can visit Caroline's website, soberme.ca. Stay with us.